Hello everyone, Scorm here and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over something that's been a pretty hot topic the last couple of days, especially since Foregone Nation was able to show on his channel Ironman one-shotting Thanos stage 49, 30. There's a lot of hype surrounding this, so I wanted to cover it in detail as to how this is possible. If you don't know or haven't been following, the MMF community recently, you probably are thinking everyone's always saying Ironman is low tier, not worth the investment, but he's capable of doing things, especially in World Boss, that many characters can't even dream to accomplish. And I wanted to cover exactly how he's able to do this and why. So when you go to Ironman and his 4 skill has all defense down, and his 5 skill has a number of attributes to it, you're thinking, that doesn't look that impressive. 10% decrease all defenses stacks up to 30%. Well, the key here is weapon hex. Weapon hex is the single most reason Iron Man's capable of accomplishing what he does. If you've been following my channel, you've seen plenty of content lately showing the synergies Hex still has with some of the roster, whereas people like to claim she doesn't have any value as a striker anymore. There's more content coming out that contradicts this claim for sure. So we've seen what Foregone Nation could do. He showed the rotation. He did it live. He did it off the cuff. But I want to go into more detail as to how this is possible. If you don't know, the Ironman rotation, the optimal rotation for World Boss is going to be 3, 4, and 5. And then 1, 2. However, you want to go about this with more skill. So you're going to go 3, 4, cancel 5. So where is the all defense down coming from on Iron Man's 4 skill? It's not the start, and it's not rescue. So what is it? Well, what's happening actually is, if I can reset them real quick, I'm going to show you. Iron Man's defense down comes from the little missiles, the blue and red missiles you see. When they converge on the enemy, that's where you see the defense down reset. So let's go over this one more time. We're going to turn the AI on. No defense down. And then as they converge on the enemy, that's when the defense down applies. So you don't have to wait a great deal of time to cancel the 4 skill. You only need to cancel the 4 skill once the missiles are out. That's why the rotation looks like 3, 4 cancel, missiles are out now, 5. It's that simple. We're going to look at that one more time. 3, 4 cancel, wait for the missiles are out, 5. One more time. 3, 4 cancel, missiles are out, 5. And when you do that, especially with max attack speed, Iron Man's snap gets 100% defense down on the snap. So Iron Man strips all the defenses away from the enemy, and all that's left is for him to snap. Now you can also get the huge burst off of Iron Man's tier 3 combo. This is something Foregone didn't go into, but if you miss the initial snap, you get maybe 1 or 2 more chances to pull this off. And that rotation can vary sometimes, but more often than not, it's 3, 4 cancel, tier 3, wait for the burst, the blue beam, and then snap. I want to do that one more time. Yeah, give me a minute. Just trying to build this up. All right, let's look at his tier 3 rotation one more time. So we're going to go 3 cancel, 4 delayed cancel, tier 3, wait for the blue burst, and then snap. That also has tremendous damage. And if you don't get the one shot on the snap initially, when you come back around and you get to where you apply 100% defense down again, that will finish the job. If the initial rotation of 3, 4 delayed cancel snap doesn't do it, his tier 3 rotation will 100% finish the job. I'm going to do the tier 3 rotation one more time. 3, 4 delayed cancel, tier 3, beam, snap. Let's go practice this in battle and see what the result is. Before we get into battle, I want to take a look at my build. If you've seen my videos, you've probably seen my build many times now, but for those that haven't or may just be stumbling on this video, let's look over what my build is. As you can see, my build is as top tier, as maximum as you could possibly push Ironman, with the only thing not being maxed out is, I don't know, recovery rate and ignore dodge, but ignore dodge doesn't really have a cap. So, you know, that's evidenced by the fact that Cyclops can easily go over 100% ignore dodge. And the build is many Odin's blessings, just all kinds of nonsense investment into one character. But when you love a character as much as I love Iron Man, then the price isn't so bad. With 4th gear option being critical damage, as well as having critical damage on his last option right here, I don't even have it mythic, so you could probably get his critical damage maxed out even quicker than I did. But that's pretty much how you get the critical damage maxed out, unless you have really good cards. I also put crit damage on his ISOs. I think only 1 ISO, yeah. So if I had mythic Rogue's uniform, I probably wouldn't need it right here, but I still haven't done that. So I've seen no reason to really change anything. And then, of course, the CTP of Rage to put a bow on the build. This makes Iron Man an incredible force in World Boss Ultimate. Now let's go into what the optimal team for Iron Man is in World Boss. Thanos specifically. There's a couple of leads I feel are optimal for Iron Man. Obviously, you have Nick Fury's lead, because Nick Fury can pass the buff with his 5 skill. He gives you 100% damage as literally 100% damage as a lead. Or you can go a more control route. And I have on Nick Fury, that is not Nick Fury. Contrary to popular belief, that was not Nick Fury. I have an insight on Nick Fury. It's not even maxed out. Or the other lead you can go is actually Ebony Maw. He gives a great deal of energy attack, but he also has on his uniform, he has 25% damage to universal types, as well as a CTP of Insight, which gives him 45% damage to universal types. So he essentially becomes a full-on support. But Ebony Maw also has the benefit of having a long duration of mind control that he can apply at the start of the fight with no penalty. This, I feel, gives him maybe a slight edge in some situations over Nick Fury, at least for Ironman, because control is so important to what you're trying to accomplish. But you can't go wrong with either. The builds really don't matter besides the CTP of Insight. So we're going to look at what Ironman can do with both of these leads against Thanos, and whether or not he one-shots him. This should be a lot of fun. Now we want to focus on who the strikers are for this mission. The most important striker being Weapon Hex. However, because you are trying to finish this fight on your very first rotation, you can bring as much control as possible to ensure that Thanos cannot move and go into his other phases. So, I like to bring Red Skull, who has paralyzed. Thanos, he doesn't have any control, but he is one of the best damage increase strikers. And I will bring Magneto for even more paralyzed. And, you know, the last option can be pure damage or pretty much anything. But the most important thing is we want to control Thanos so much so that he cannot move out of the snap to go into his next phase. Once we have that accomplished, then we start to see the magic of Iron Man. So here we are at Thanos, but I don't want to go straight into the fight yet. I want to explain something that people may not know. One of the reasons Iron Man is so very capable of one-shotting Thanos is because Thanos doesn't have the limitations set against Iron Man that other bosses like Proxima Midnight, who has increased energy defense, Corvus Glaive, who has increased energy defense in the first phase of the fight, but has no energy defense in the second phase of the fight, which is why in the second phase of the fight, he can be one-shotted by this method. And then you have Cole Obsidian, who has, as we all know, increased elemental defense, extremely increased physical defense, and a small amount of energy defense, which allows him to maybe withstand one blow from this rotation on Iron Man. And then you have Ebony Maw, who has 15% increased energy defense, but takes full on damage from elemental defense. But he has less defense in general than Cole Obsidian, and this is why he gets one shot by Iron Man most times. Sometimes he can make it through a phase. But Thanos is different because he starts the fight with almost no defenses. It isn't until he gets into his second phase at 10 bars when he becomes debuff immune that he becomes an absolute nightmare. But Iron Man does not let Thanos get to that phase. The whole goal with Iron Man is to literally snap Thanos out of existence in seconds. And we don't allow him to move. We don't allow him to skip phases. We just put pedal to the metal to his face. Here we are at the fight, 1 second in. The goal is to control Thanos instantly with Ebony Maw, we're going to mind control him at the beginning of the fight, and then we're going to go through the normal rotation and see whether or not we can pull this off. If everything goes according to plan, if we get the timing correctly, if everyone does their part simultaneously, Ironman will 100% of the time strip away 100% of Thanos' defenses, and all that's left is the snap. And the snap will then endure. The snap will then absorb all of that debuff, as well as whatever general stats that applies to the snap, such as the 300% damage accumulation on the very first hit and the 150% energy down 150% energy attack of your own energy attack. So say I have 40,000 energy attack, and Iron Man's 5 skill is 150% of that. We're going to then multiply 40 by 1.5, which comes out to 60,000 energy attack. This all accumulates into a single atomic bomb of a skill akin to someone like Sharon Rogers, except Iron Man can do this at the very beginning of a fight. And this is why he is becoming a super meta in World Boss Ultimate. It's real. It's real. All right. Let's put our hard hat on and see if we can accomplish this goal. All right, we mind control him. Wait. Let's see if we got it. Yes, that's it. That's all she wrote. Just like that, as if everybody comes together simultaneously and does their part, Iron Man will 100% of the time perform this. It's incredible. I want to take a minute to go back over something I just discussed, and we're going to take a look at Iron Man's 5 skill. Again, 40,000 energy attack. And if you put Nick Fury with Iron Man and you have control on your strikers and you get that 100%, what you get, that ridiculous buff that Nick Fury passes, that gives you even more groundbreaking power to literally one-shot Thanos at 50. You know, the possibilities are endless. And then if you factor in your valor and resist level, you know, it confounds me that people rate Iron Man so low on tier lists when you have all this evidence that contradicts it. But I digress. I want to go over his 5 skill. So, Iron Man's 5 skill is quite a lot to unpack. Not only is it one of the single most devastating moves in the game, probably only rivaled in World Boss at least by Sharon Rogers, tier 3 skill. This skill has time freeze. The skill has damage accumulation, but there's a theory that this damage accumulation of 300% damage only applies on the first hit. It's extremely hard to confirm or deconfirm or debunk this, but that's a lot of math that I can't particularly accomplish myself. You know, maybe someone better suited to the job than me can talk about that. But we look at the 150% of energy attack with an additional 219 energy damage. That's an incredibly powerful skill, especially when you strip away 100% of Thanos, who already has no defenses. Really, when you strip away 100% of his defenses, it leaves him with nothing. There's nothing he can do to prepare for what's about to happen in about 10 seconds. And it's thematic. It's magnificent. It sets Iron Man on a level that very, very few in the game can reach at that level. And this, I feel, solidifies Ironman's place in World Boss as a super meta. I don't think at this point it can be questioned. Ironman is a super meta in World Boss Ultimate. End of discussion. And that's the end of the video, guys. I really just, I want to continue to thank everyone who supports me for inspiring me to bring you content like this. I haven't been this inspired in a long time to do something like this, and it just feels really good to finally get this creative edge, this creative outlet that I've been clamoring for so long. And I don't want to make this too emotional, but thank you everyone for your support. Please don't forget to leave feedback, negative and positive. It all means the same to me. And like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I will see you very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.